Steady, are you ready? Are you ready? What's going on?
Thinking to myself.
Well, I was thinking to myself.
Prepare for an explosive display.
And that's my best friend, my best friend, go best friend. Nigga living TTG and everything is still on fleek. Baby rolling with me, she gon' smile but she on fleek. $100,000 at my pay, my shit on fleek. Yeah. Welcome. Mike.
We back for episode
18.
Are we live?
We live.
Yeah, we live.
Are we live?
We live, yeah.
T2L.
We got a lot of people here today, man.
Baby. Introduce the room. Sav.
Alright, we got me. I'm gonna introduce myself.
That's kind of selfish, but okay.
We have Chris.
Welcome back, Chris. We appreciate you.
Second time on the podcast.
_Topher 2.
_Topher 2. You want to tell the story behind Topher 2 or no?
Damn, can we get everybody in the room?
We get around first.
Alright. We have CoJo.
What's up, man?
We got Cory here, y'all. Special guest.
Same person.
Same person.
Same guy.
And we also have Tez, Dope Man Tez here today. Dope not as in drugs, dope, but dope as in dope.
Depending on who you ask.
Exactly.
I don't know who you ask.
And we also have Clyde Scientist, Don Cory a lot.
Hey.
Fuck that guy.
Reporting live from Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Our old stumping grounds.
I was finna say the exact same shit. But I didn't want to say it. I'm glad you said it. I didn't.
Why? Because it was chatty.
I don't know. Well, I wasn't willing to test the waters, but you did. So, applause.
Yeah.
You could just edit it out if you don't like it, though, right?
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, we could, but
It's straight though. I ain't know how we can
It's
keep
like,
it.
y'all ain't gonna do no shit like if I say something, y'all like edit them words out and make it like some weird shit or something.
No.
well, first off, I was gonna tell you, you the funny nigga out of our group of friends, so you come disrespecting us, we kind of stump your ass out, and then we gonna keep it rolling too.
Shit.
Y'all
Damn.
see the podcast out like this stuff.
Audio.
What's up, y'all? We back.
Shit with comic book time.
Right, y'all. I just got packed out, but we back live. We back live. Straight. Ain't a scratch on me.
Right.
That's not do with that the baby and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Y'all posted like 8 videos.
Look like pretty. Look
like jogging around outside.
back in the same store.
Hey, that's how you know you got your ass whooped though. Like if you jogging around trying to let people know you alright.
You good? Yeah, like, he ain't hit me that hard. Fuck.
He go play silly.
They jumped me.
Did they?
They jumped me.
That's one thing I'm glad never happened to me. That I ain't never get jumped before though.
Especially on camera.
On camera, that makes it worse though. But like, I'd rather get jumped than like lose a fight 1-on-1 though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could you?
At least people
I can
know you got
justify
jump.
the
Yeah,
Exactly.
justify it.
Like it could have been one nigga that was like in that group of people in that collective jumping me that I would lose against, and I'd say like them niggas jumped me. Even if it was a 1-on-1 scrap, I probably would have lost. It's just more, you could justify
There's
that.
way more leeway. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They jumped my nigga Cory. They ain't had to do that to him.
Like, that nigga,
They could have gave him a fair one.
they give him a straight up one. Yeah, but I'll take a jump any day.
That shit all hurt though, I'm sure. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that shit gotta hurt, bro.
But okay, like I'd rather take the physical pain than like the emotional pain of losing like 1-on-1.
1-on-1, yeah.
Like I got a girl, like you know what I'm saying.
And if you really get your ass whooped, it's like, damn, he was dragging my ass.
Like nigga, how you gonna protect?
Think about that.
Then she gonna cheat on me.
That's why you gotta shoot niggas, bro. Ain't nobody got time to be fighting niggas, bro.
And feeling bad about it if you
Yeah,
lose.
you gotta just bust that nigga and deal with the consequences.
I mean, like, when was the last time niggas lost a fight? Like,
Shit, when the last time... Exactly. When last time a nigga got shot? Recently.
Exactly.
Cause niggas, they got time to deal with that shit, bro. You ain't about to knock me out in front of all these fucking people, bro. You got me fucked up.
I'm gonna be the talk of the town.
All the time, nigga.
Everybody know I'm sweet.
Yeah, like, I'm on World Star now and shit. You got videos of me. I'm on Facebook. Like, bro, I'd rather bust your ass and get off on self-defense.
It's not even that, though. It's like, if I get into a fight now, like, that shit like damn near running, like, back-to-back, like, pickup games. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be tired as hell.
Right, like, bro.
Off one scrap.
After like 15 seconds.
Yeah, nigga, I'm sleeping for about 3 hours, nigga.
Right.
You like exhausted.
Yeah, that's taking a lot out of me, bro, trying to fight somebody.
But you know what's crazy, though?
What?
It's really people that's, like, in their mid-20s and 30s, like, really out here, like, catching fades, though.
Like regularly.
Like pulling up and shit.
Definitely, yeah.
And, like, I just can't see myself doing that.
Me neither.
You know, I'm like a situational fighter, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully you don't get to throwing blows, you know what I mean?
Bro, think about back in the day where niggas had like hand-to-hand combat, like fighting on the battlefield.
That's it.
That shit crazy.
That's
Like that was
You had to have real techniques.
That was like war you was in? Just
Yeah,
hand to hand.
like, bro, you fighting with a spear and just like a regular sword, bro, and a shield, and it's thousands of motherfuckers.
I'll be sneaking
straight.
niggas then,
You say you be what?
I'll be sneaking niggas then.
Bro,
like
it's too
while
many.
you fighting somebody else and shit, like I'll just run up and tackle them and shit. And that's my dub right there.
Niggas trying to sneak you.
Yo, yeah.
Right. Oh, it's a free fall? I thought I was the only nigga without honor.
No, not a free for all.
Yeah, the niggas just leave one-on-one scraps when there was a war like that.
Yeah.
You let everybody scrap one-on-one.
Sometimes on Troy they did. They let my mans in them scrap, but then it ended up being his cousin.
Yeah, it wasn't even actually him either.
Yeah.
He put on his armor and shit.
Yeah, so I'm guessing they let some people scrap 1-on-1.
That's
Yeah,
no
fuck
bad.
all that.
I couldn't imagine nigga mid shoot the fair one.
No, they got their own shit going on over there.
Don't even jump in.
Bro, I couldn't do that shit, bro.
The first nigga to ever have a gun on the battlefield, though, that shit had to be wild.
Yeah,
He came
man.
in there shredded.
The Chinese, bro.
Niggas didn't even know what that shit was.
They had a fucking cannon or something.
They seen a nigga get shot and they seen him fall and shit.
They know what happened. What hit him.
Bro, right, imagine going back with like an M16, bro, going back there with like hella ammo. You will run the fucking whole country.
Like, you
world.
take out the whole army.
Yeah.
You mowing down whole armies.
I'm sitting at the top of
nigga.
I'm sitting at the top of a motherfucking mountain or cliff or something, and I'm just.
Nigga, you about to stand like 100 feet away from the motherfucker.
Shoot, y'all ever watch the 100? The 100?
Yeah.
Them niggas was low key washing the niggas who had straps with like spears and arrows and shit. It was like on some stealth type shit though.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
What the fuck is the 100s?
That's a dope ass show.
It's like it's some apocalypto ass shit.
Get the premise, Chris. This is a low-key pretty straight show.
So like the world ends like 4 times. That's like so like the world ends, but it's like they go into space, but like they time and like supplies and space is running out.
That's his nigga alarm for some reason.
Yeah. That's when I was working at McDonald's and shit. That's different shit.
We gotta talk about that too.
But so they go out into space and shit. So like the story began in space, but like their time running out. So they gotta like send some people back to the Earth, basically to see if the Earth good, but they don't know if it's good. So they send the prisoners because it's like fuck him. Yeah,
If it
they
is
got
fun,
fucked
it's
up.
like him. Yeah.
But it's like they get down there and like they lose communication and shit. So like the prisoners like the ground good though, so they like bet like nigga we ain't reaching back to them because it's like they come back down here we gonna be prisoners. So they basically like build the whole world, you know what I'm saying? But it's people who've been on the earth like this whole I couldn't even say. Like, let's just say like 500 years they've been off the earth. It's like a certain amount of generations. I think it's like 8 or something like that. But, you know what I'm saying? So they like, come back and then they find like the people who on the earth, they call them the grounders or whatever. But it's like, it's different. It's like 10 or so different tribes on earth still.
Like all throughout the world, nigga? Or?
It's more localized, like a centralized location. Most of the world is still like fucked up, but it's like this patch of region that like is still good that people can live in.
Fuck that shit, bro.
But then it's like it's these other people who like been in this mountain, like in this bunker that waited this shit out, too. But it's like low-key pretty deep though. But then like the world about to end again, and then so they gotta go back into space. And that shit, I think they just started like season 5.
After the first time the Earth ended, you can't end that bitch a second time.
Yeah, that's right.
After the second time that shit
Well, it
ended,
was on some shit like some motherfuckers. So it was like 2 groups in space too, and they like this was the only inhabitable place was like taken over by the grounders, and then the first people who came down from space, they like basically made a peace treaty over time that like there's like blood sport involved and a whole bunch of shit. But then it's like these other people from space came and it's like, oh, this is the only inhabitable land. We've been looking for this shit for X amount of generations. Fuck y'all, this ours. Basically.
Turf war.
And then so like, you know what I'm saying?
so typical white people shit, huh?
Yeah. So
That's what it sounds like.
they basically like, you know what I'm saying, if y'all don't give a shit, we gonna kill y'all and take it from y'all. But they end up getting washed, and they like basically like, fuck it, y'all. If we can't have it, nobody can have it. And then they like
Blew that shit.
detonate they shit.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, by the time you get there, it's like,
You got an idea.
you know what I'm saying? Like, by the time like you was 3 episodes before that bitch was probably like 10, honestly. You was gonna know the shit's gonna blow up. So I mean, the show being spoiler alert, but it's a decent show though. Like, it has a. It's like one of them shows that's real predictable, and then they'll like do something to like take it like all the way left. So it's like, okay, now they just. It's like damn near a whole different show now. I mean, it's engaging. So.
See, I don't like that type of shit because I can't follow storylines that long. Like I'll be with the shit and they go all the way left and shit. I'm lost. And I gotta rewatch episodes and shit. I'd rather read that bitch like if it's a story, you know what I'm saying, and watch the movie. You know, I'm just that type of guy.
Y'all binge shit better, y'all like week by week shit better.
I can't week by week shit.
I kind of like the week though. It depends on the show, honestly.
I about to say, yeah, for me, it depends on the show for sure.
No, I'm too irresponsible.
I'm a binger though.
Yeah, all day. Like, and I wait till some shit over too though.
Yeah,
I don't
like
like watching shit alongside the hype.
I low key fucking like I low key like Google the plot of that bitch so I know I'm watching. I don't really care about that like element of surprise shit.
Yeah.
That shit's so fucking stupid.
You don't like the element of surprise.
Exactly, I don't at all, bro. I hate being surprised about any fucking thing. Nigga birthdays, nigga, pregnancies, nigga. I want to know about that shit in advance. You know what I'm saying? I need an idea of it. You know what I'm saying?
Cory want to find $20 on the floor.
Right. I want a nigga to tell me. Hey, I think it's $20. I thought I saw $20 over there. For real?
You should go look.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell us about so what do you do for everybody listening?
Oh man, I'm a first lieutenant in the Army. I'm a field artillery officer, and right now I serve in the position of a fire support officer. So when artillery shoots, I basically am the one that'll call up the target and observe it and give like a BDA, so a battle damage assessment of like what's fucked up, what happened. It's a fun job.
So are you like the dude with the binoculars that's like
Exactly.
2 feet to the left type shit?
Yeah, adjust that shit on like to the target and shit.
Yeah, that's cool. Why you ain't want to be the sniper?
Man, them niggas run too much, bro. I don't know, man.
Bro.
It's like you gotta like want to do that type of shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like kind of lazy for real. Like I'm low key a piece of shit when it comes to the army. I be coming late. I be missing meetings. Meetings that I have prior knowledge of. So you know, like I know this meeting is at like 9:30, but I'm doing some other shit. And the other shit I'm doing, I really don't know what it is, but I ain't gonna be at that meeting. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna be good today.
I be cussing out people and shit. But
You taking full advantage of your privileges, bro. That's what you're supposed to do. Take your white man privilege.
and I wish I had some white man privilege in the army.
No.
I'd rather be general right now. In 2 years.
If everybody knew who he was, like, they'd be so surprised that you end up being in the army.
Oh yeah.
Do people talk about Trump a lot in the army? Like, not talk about it in a negative way, just like, does his name come up a lot?
Yeah, he does. A lot of people like they try to keep it like low key about it. Like they'll bring in the president. Like, yeah, I don't know why people don't like Trump, especially when I'm in the room and shit. Because all black people hate Trump. I'm not gonna say I do or I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be like, yeah, I don't know why people hate Trump. He's doing this and this and he side-eyeing me and shit. I'll just be sitting there like, yep. Yeah, man, I love Trump. I'm like, all right, bro, but you know, it's the workplace, man. Why you talking about politics? You know, that's like one of the first things you learn.
Right.
That's something we started getting away of. If like back in the day, you didn't talk about religion or politics, and now people so comfortable talking about both.
Exactly, and the shit makes me uncomfortable whether I agree with it or I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
I kind of agree with that too, because it's like we're now to the point where like some people like if I work with them, they like say like somebody's parents we used to match up to what theirs is currently because we like in such a different time than we was when their parents were growing up or their grandparents was growing up. So like I don't be wanting to really engage in them kind of conversations because you never know.
exactly.
I mean, but if you, like, where else are you around people? What other environments you gonna have that conversation at? Like, you know what I'm saying?
But the conversation should be had though. That's what I'm saying though. Like,
I mean, why not?
because like I gotta work with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel you at the end of the day on that, but I mean, at the same time, it's like if you got people who lean in one way, lean the other way, like then at that point, the only people they're talking about is people they agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying? Where's the change come from if we can't talk about this shit?
I'm waiting for a motherfucker to bring up one of these like pro-life and pro-choice things though. You know what I mean?
That get talked about right where I work at.
It really don't get talked about where I'm at because it's the army and them motherfuckers be having illegitimate kids all the fucking time. So they could be the most far right person ever. They gonna believe in abortions, you know, it's situational. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like them motherfuckers is kind of weird with shit like that. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers don't believe in something until it benefits them.
Yeah,
you know?
it's convenient for them. Exactly.
If you got a wife and you get another girl pregnant, you know, then you believe in abortions. You know what I mean?
Otherwise, just hell no.
Otherwise, it's no, fuck no. We ain't doing that. That's evil.
The shit they doing out here is fucked up though. I will say that. Like,
Yeah, man.
they telling people how to control this shit.
I was watching some shit the other day about it. Like, they'll make these like women go through like all these classes and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the classes take so long that they'll be out of that like little period where they can get an abortion. So they find out they're pregnant at like 6 weeks, and let's say the state's limit is like 14 weeks.
Yeah.
They'll like make them do like this or go to this type of counseling or some shit. And then by the time they finish all that shit, it's like 16 weeks. So you 2 weeks past it, you gotta keep that motherfucking baby to go to another state.
Regardless.
That's fucked up.
That is.
But why you think they doing that shit though? Like, why does it matter to people that somebody else keep their baby?
You know what? I don't really have a concrete reason why I think people want to control that shit so much. Like, what is it doing?
I think it gotta be something with the bottom line, bro. Like fuck a moral issue or like a civil rights issue or women's rights issue. Like, niggas don't care about nothing in this country unless it gotta do with some money.
Exactly.
So it gotta be something to do with like that shit fucking somebody money up. That's the extent I can go.
What, them having abortions is fucking somebody money up?
You would think it'd make money.
Yeah.
Like nigga like Gerber getting pissed off motherfuckers getting abortions or some shit?
I don't know.
Like Huggies is mad.
Right, they like, hell no, y'all killing our shit.
And I seen some shit like
Fucking
we talking about
millennials.
like white women like get abortions at higher rates and shit.
Yeah.
So like niggas, it's like self-preservation.
Population
Bro, that's because
control.
white people don't use condoms at all,
They
bro.
don't.
White people do not use condoms.
Man,
That's not a myth. These
I could have sworn though, like white women get pregnant like a lot harder than like any other race though. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do something with that old.
Probably like at the rate of condom usage. You know what I'm saying? Like condom usage versus like pregnancy.
yeah, bro, and they get nutted in too, bro. They don't
Like you probably could raw a white woman like 50 times one baby. You know what I'm saying? You raw a black woman 50 times. You got 20 kids.
I disagree, man. I disagree.
Or you disagree?
I disagree. For reasons I don't want to say. You know what I'm saying? But
bro.
I feel like they ovaries like lower or some shit. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but something.
Like they got like low egg count.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they just have periods like every other month or some
I
shit.
feel like that's researchable information. I don't want to do that.
You ain't one of them brews, man.
I didn't want to lose what you had said though, Chris. Here you go, Cory. But about the population control, like the white women babies.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like they realized like some years ago that at the rate we going, like white people's gonna be the minority in the country. And they said there's only 3 ways to control the population, and the first 2 didn't work. I wish I knew what that was off the top of my head. But the last one was like abortion, because like you said, white women get abortions at higher rates than any other race and gender.
And they were saying like the
Black
places that
people.
like had passed like that type of abortion laws, like pretty much had like the highest percentage of like white people there. So
Those states.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Like the South and shit?
Yeah. Ohio was one too, so I don't know how.
They basically like all red states are the states that's like moving towards these bans on abortion.
I mean, what could happen that's so bad that like if white people become the minority?
I mean, white people, even in number being a minority, control so much of the wealth in the country. So like they're not even.
They're not losing power. They're losing numbers though. Like I don't see like how
You
that
still got
affect-
laws that's in your favor. Like the number don't really matter. But I mean, I guess you know what I'm
Because
saying.
for thousands of years, bro,
I
they've
found
been
it
on
actually.
top.
I want to listen to it. I actually found it.
What is it?
The video.
Planned Parenthood. And right now, white people are really frightened. If you don't understand the destruction of Planned Parenthood offices, and you don't understand the wall that we're going to build on the southern border of the United States, you haven't read the book The Birth Dearth by Ben Wattenberg. Ben Wattenberg was a brilliant Jewish man who was a member of the American Enterprise Institute, and he wrote a book, the first paragraph of which says, "The main problem confronting the United States today is there aren't enough white babies being born in this country." He was an advisor to presidents of the United States. He wrote the book in 1987. He says if we don't change this and change it rapidly, white people will lose their numerical majority in this country, and this will no longer be a white man's land. Now, I'm not misrepresenting this. I'm telling you almost exactly what he says. He says there are 3 things we can do to solve this. Number 1, we could pay women to have babies, as they have been doing in Western European nations for years. Then he says, and these are his words, not mine, unfortunately, we would have to pay women of all colors to have babies, so we don't want to do that. He says the second thing we could do is increase the number of legal immigrants that are allowed into this country every year. Then once again, he says, unfortunately, the vast majority of those going to come to this country today are people of color, so we don't want to do that. The third thing he says, and white women had better pay attention to this, 60% of the fetuses that are aborted every year are white. If we could keep that 60% alive, that would solve our birth dearth. Does that sound like racism to you?
Eesh.
And if it...
Yeah,
That's kind of crazy.
that's wild, right?
Yeah, that is.
I mean, like, you would think people would get away from these attitudes of power. You know what I mean? But that's what this country was fucking built on.
Yeah.
But who fucking?
It's always like, I feel like I've said this before here, like, when change come like this and the whole shift to people's mind states come at like a mass level like it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be, you squeeze the people who still feel that way, you squeeze them out because they're such a minority now, and they more highlighted when they behave that way or they express themselves, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like they get really squeezed and then they get
marginalized.
Yeah, exactly. And they like really emphasize because like the eyeballs and nobody feel that way no more. And like they can either like hold on to that shit even harder or like go with change the top, you know what I'm saying?
But then like the 60% of fetuses that are aborted that are white are gonna be like the elite, you know what I mean, of society. Like people not aborting babies because like I just don't want them. It's like I'm poor, I can't afford it. You know what I mean? These babies are gonna be like damn near if they are born, are gonna be like the downtrodden of society. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's not like they're gonna be the next fucking Bill Gates or.
Exactly. I be saying the same shit. I mean, it kind of sounds fucked up, but that's true though. Like, it's one in however many million this baby gonna be to Bill Gates, so the next superstar rocket scientist. So it's like, let people do what they want to do, man. Why do we even have to have restrictions on it? Like, if a lady want to abort her kid, she should have that right. Should nobody be able to stop her? It shouldn't even be a rule to stop people. It's like, bro, do what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not our choice to say like what a woman wants to do with her body. You know?
Exactly.
Even if we disagree with that shit so much, we don't gotta carry that little motherfucker for 9 months. You know, we don't gotta go through none of that shit.
Right.
Can you put that type of restriction on voting though?
What you mean?
Like only this group of people can vote on this certain issue?
No, you can't.
So I mean, like, how can you stop people from having to say that shit? Like, the way our country built, like,
I mean,
really.
I guess I was looking at it from a perspective like who actually does the most in childbearing, but then that also furthers your argument, yeah. But I mean, I just feel like some things are just decisions that should be made by that person. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, we should have a say in it, but our say should be like, it should be logical, you know? Like, you don't have to carry a baby for 9 months.
It's your secondary say.
But also though, sorry to cut you off.
There you go, we okay.
You don't have to carry that baby for 9 months, but then you are expected to take care of it though.
Yeah.
So you should actually be able to have a say.
But you can sign off like your rights though. Like,
True, that's true. But then you automatically you written off as like a deadbeat.
But she can get like a DNA test and make you pay for that little motherfucker. I know in one country, like, I think it might be Switzerland, like, I guess like until a certain point in a woman's pregnancy, the male can say, I don't want to be in this child's life, you know what I mean? And then the woman like, okay, yeah, she, you know what I mean? That's like their way of like,
I think that's cool.
making a fatherhood choice. And it makes sense though, like, so why does a woman have a choice if she wants to be a mother or not, but the man doesn't, you know?
It should be both ways.
It should be both fucking ways. Like, as messed up as that sounds, it should be both ways. If she doesn't want to be a mother, like, she can say, I want an abortion. Mm-hmm. And I can't be like, no, you can't get an abortion, that's my baby too.
But at the same time, if you be like, I just don't want to be a dad, then you can have that choice too.
And she can say, I want to have this baby, you're going to take a paternity test, boom, now you on papers, now you paying child support.
That, I guess fair is fair, yeah.
I mean, it's like only right, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I forced to be a father because she wants to be a mother?
Right.
And if I want to be a father and she doesn't want to be a mother, she can terminate that baby.
Right.
Fair is fair.
But I feel like that's some of the things that we just gotta face as like a people, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't think people are ready to hear that, you know? Because I guess like throughout history, we're looked at as the providers, you know what I mean? And like, I should have a choice if I want to be a provider or not.
I think the part of it too is though, like women's bodies, like being like something that's just like so at the forefront and like respecting women's bodies, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. So like including like the Me Too shit, it's like the same thing. Like you trying to tell us what we can do with our bodies, control what we can do with our bodies, like
Manipulate our bodies.
Yeah. So I mean, I think all like it's all in the same vein. You feel me?
I mean, they have a valid point. But I'm saying though, what you want to do with your body should have nothing to do with the male. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when it does though, is when it's a child though, because it's like both of you.
But why doesn't the man have a choice?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why at some point you need to have, like, you know what I'm saying? Both sides got to vote on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but they never give the man the chance to vote.
What you mean?
When it
You just
comes
voted in Alabama, that you can't do that shit at all.
No, I'm just saying, like, in most
You
cases,
saying like in like
yeah, women
to
be
abort
like,
or not?
yeah, if you really sat there and you be like, I don't think we should have this kid. A woman be like, well, you can't tell me what I can do, and she can have that kid, and then she can try to hit you with child support, even though you voiced that you didn't want to have this kid.
That's also wrong.
That's wrong.
That's
for sure.
wrong as hell. Yeah, I'm gonna become a lawyer, yo, and that's like the main thing I'm gonna argue with shit. That's gonna be like, I'm gonna make CNN on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like in that sense, men don't have a vote whether they want to keep the kid or not. If the woman want to keep it, she can keep it and hit them with whatever. And unless you do like what Chris said and write off all your rights and everything. Which I mean, if you don't want the kids, you should do.
But they can still like, I don't think that's their choice though. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. I thought if you write them off, you just write it off and you don't got to do shit.
like if a woman wants you on child support, your ass gonna get on child support. You ain't getting out that shit.
I want to do the DNA test though.
It's a court order. If you don't do the DNA test, it's like you assume it's that child's father. You know what I mean?
That's
You still
fucked up.
on that shit.
See, that's wrong, man.
Nigga, you on Facebook?
No, I'll be on Facebook.
My nigga on Facebook. Sending chain messages. Send this to 10 people you love.
Before 10:30. Or she will visit you tonight.
I'm surprised Facebook's still relevant though.
Nigga, that's like the main.
They keep evolving, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bitch.
They low key smart.
And they bought Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I'm on Facebook like twice a week. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that bitch low key live, nigga. Niggas be posting funny as hell shit with that all the time.
That's why it's funny though. That's why it's funny though.
It's a world of its own.
Facebook and Google really taking over, bro. Like Facebook owns both of the biggest social media sites, and then Google owns both two biggest search engines.
What else? I thought Google was the biggest one. Don't
Google
say like
and
YouTube.
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 Oh, YouTube.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that shit kind of
YouTube. It do, bro. Now it's the second largest.
Yeah.
Cause people go to YouTube to learn how to do shit, not just to get information.
Who the fuck was the niggas that created this shit though? Like, how fucking bored do you have to be to create some shit like that? Hey, we gonna create something where niggas can look shit up.
Like whenever they want though.
Like whenever they want.
Whenever they want.
That shit.
And we'll put everything on here.
That's white people for you.
Niggas been using queries for forever though.
What's a query?
I mean, it's like a database where you can just basically like cross-reference shit and like find shit easily.
Man, ain't that an almanac, nigga?
It's kind of like a large ass table that's like easy to search though.
Like a chart?
Hell no.
Yeah, but it's like say it's like you got like Don Quill, all the things that's Don Quill in this access. And you got all the things that's like why.
Where do you find that shit at? Is that shit in the library or something?
No, bro. I'm saying this is like how you build like some shit like that.
Okay,
we had to do some shit like that in the software engineering class.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, and that shit terrorized, so I put that shit in.
So like nigga, like in 1980, you know what I'm saying? I want to look some shit up about something. Where the fuck do I go?
Encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia?
Hell yeah, to the library, nigga.
Yeah.
Take
Hell no.
38 volumes of one encyclopedia.
Yeah, that's big as fuck, man.
And you can't check them bitches out. They ready or something.
No, you sure can't.
You can't check encyclopedias out?
Hell no.
How y'all know that? When's the last time you niggas been to a library?
To
check the book out.
I'm just saying, that's always been a rule in library. You can't check
Encyclopedia.
encyclopedias out, nigga.
You can't check out reference documents.
I mean, y'all can like completely be throwing me bullshit right now. And I have no idea. No.
But if you go to a library now, still, you won't be able to check out the encyclopedia.
Nigga, like, why?
It's a reference document. Like, they usually only have, like, one set.
Think about you taking, like, M through N out of the encyclopedia. Now niggas just fuck now. You just got that bitch at the crib.
Right, you keep forgetting to bring it back and shit. That shit just gone.
So if it's like a nigga named like Martinez or something and shit. Hey, somebody stole our shit like 2 months ago. And you go across town.
They catch serial killers like that and shit, local towns. It's only one encyclopedia.
Fuck. Nigga, what you a serial killer with an encyclopedia?
Just so they can't look up shit about you.
Wait, nigga. I thought that was like the yellow pages or something. Like the white pages.
Well, I was doing or something. Say you was doing like bestiality killings, so we take out the B's. Like, oh damn, we fucked now. What that is? You know what I'm saying? You gotta go next time.
Right?
No, nigga.
You do.
You fucking read.
So my nigga a serial killer and he took out the B through H encyclopedia.
And he ain't been caught yet. He thought he got away and shit. Now he like
just take out the B through H. Like, damn, that wasn't no smart idea.
take out B through H.
So they figured out we didn't do here. Yeah, we say 2 steps ahead of us.
You take out B through H. Then like. Alright, so now they got a range.
He never did that before.
He killing something through B through H.
Hey man, y'all been seeing these police videos and shit?
Which ones?
So it was that one I had retweeted and shit. I know you had.
If it's some brutality shit, then hell no.
No. It wasn't no. It was some mistreatment for sure, but it wasn't like nobody got killed or no shit like that.
Okay.
But it's basically just like one was like a nigga police officer pulled up, like said a nigga who like stole his dog. You know what I'm saying? But his dog had a trip, had it since he was born, and then said like he had a warrant in Louisiana, but he lived in Texas.
You want the one in his yard?
Huh?
You want the one in his yard?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying? He snatched this nigga wallet out of his hand, everything to identify him. You know what I'm saying? Texas, they got that law. You don't gotta identify yourself to an officer. You know what I'm saying? If you're not driving.
Shit, my black ass gonna do it.
You in the military, nigga.
They put me on a t-shirt, nigga. That's my like worst fear though, is dying for some shit that's like
some bullshit.
Like for some bullshit though, like I'm in the army, but let me die doing some army shit. You know what I mean?
No, that'd be
like you want to step on a IED or something.
Yeah, exactly. Let me die doing some army shit. Don't let me die like
straight on the fucking stepping on the IED.
You know what I'm saying?
And then D-Lo, I think you had posted that one though.
It was like picking up trash?
Yeah.
That one was wild, bro.
Wild, bro. Like this nigga had a trash picker upper thing with a little grabber. This nigga said, I feel threatened, you have a weapon.
He had a bucket and a grabber.
A bucket and a trash grabber picking up. That nigga he lived in this apartment building.
He worked there.
He worked there too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just maintaining the land and shit.
But none of them got shot though, right?
Well,
Yeah,
7 officers
John.
pulled up on them when they all put out straps on them.
Like, this nigga just picking up trash. Like, bro, he looks like the most harmless nigga in the fucking world,
Yeah,
bro.
he
Real
did,
shit.
But did he get shot though?
No.
What is wrong with them?
Hey, can we put some claps in there or some shit?
Yeah.
That's the shit though. Like, niggas be getting mistreated though, and it's like as long as they don't get fucking shot, that shit feel like a win. But it's really
That's crazy,
fucking
right?
hard, bro. Like, that shit is an L, nigga. That niggas gotta go through that shit every day and look at that shit as a win, just cause motherfucker
man, he
didn't
get
die.
shot.
Right.
Man, I be getting about to shit myself when the police pull me over.
Bro, you remember?
Just come back from Michigan State.
No, we was
We was leaving leaving the parking lot and shit
yeah.
behind the football field.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah. Niggas was on some shit like four niggas had robbed somewhere.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
And it was like the only reason we had got away from that shit, like one of the suspects had dreads. Them niggas in a book hard.
Yeah, I remember that shit too.
It was on like what's that shit like East Campus Drive?
Mm-hmm.
That shit like by the
Windy shit?
by like
Yeah.
Bennigan's and shit. Hell yeah. And Larry Ho ass drive right past us.
And then that nigga gonna text us. Larry gonna text us like, "Where y'all at?" And we like, man, we just got put up by the police. Oh, I thought that was y'all. Bitch ass nigga gonna keep going. He ain't come to pull out no phone or nothing. Like, nigga,
They ain't could have pulled out a phone.
he ain't come to pull out no phone. I'm recording y'all. You know what I'm saying? That calm police officers down and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the phones be acting different.
Hell no, they don't, bro.
Hell yeah, they do.
That shit.
Nah, that
that's
shit,
the
niggas
problem.
still will, like,
I got you on live.
It is a deterrent though, but niggas still will trip, but it is a deterrent. I put my video like every time I as soon as they shit up.
police had body slam old girl.
Huh?
Police had body slam old girl. Y'all ain't see that?
No, where?
Oh, this shit was like probably about a month ago, dog. Like, it was like some shit like a fucking tail light or it was like a minor traffic violation though. Niggas pulled over, like backup came, everything. Like said she was resisting. She kind of was resisting though, but it was like huge. It was on some pulling away, but she was like a 130. You know what I'm saying?
They're greasy.
He like WWE head over heels niggas.
Legs in the hand.
Yeah,
He probably was talking
yeah.
shit. He probably was talking shit when he got back to the office about that shit, nigga. I boomed her motherfucking ass. Man, I feel like a camcorder, a camera phone, or anything you can to capture video is like a police officer's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I feel like they like talk about that shit.
If they went to jail, it would be.
Yeah.
There's so many videos of niggas getting killed on
Getting a
video that is
But it's about
crazy,
like,
and they never go to jail.
but it's like any officer that has been like involved in that situation and gotten away with it, and their name is like went public, like they can never be in public again. You know what I mean?
No.
Man,
That nigga I was talking about, they had pulled up on my nigga lawn. This motherfucker, he had arrested a nigga. Niggas on the ground, handcuffed, kicked this nigga in the head. And then, like, the nigga got off that shit. And then he's the same nigga who pulled up on the nigga talking about he had a warrant. You know what I'm saying?
It's the same dude?
Same nigga.
Same officer.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And then his superior said he didn't do shit wrong. Fuck.
That's kind of crazy. How the fuck you gonna have another police officer investigate police brutality? You know what I mean? In the same fucking like, I don't know what they got, like unit or some shit. Or post.
It's the same department.
I think it's like the precinct or some shit.
All them niggas know each other.
Yeah. Like, y'all take the same oath, like.
You take the same fucking oath. I know you niggas.
And then like internal affairs, though, they do like their same job
Should I get it?
to investigate like police with it.
Mm-hmm.
But are they part of the police like police like corps, whatever the fuck they
I don't
are?
know.
Or station?
I may be totally wrong with internal affairs. I think that's what it is. Like,
I mean, I ain't got no real job like that. I don't know none of them terms and shit.
I'm glad you said that though, because I want to talk about that. Like, Okay, so in the black community, right? Like police officers looked at a certain way, and if you like become a police officer, you look at a certain way. But it's like totally different for like going to the armed services. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But both of those things is kind of like, and not the same thing, but they like. It's like protecting and serving just on different scales, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't feel like I'm looked at as like a traitor though.
No, you exactly. You not.
You wiped out Indian armies. You
Man.
one of them now.
Man. First
You
off,
the reason Central was built.
niggas cough and wipe them out.
Wow.
But
It's not
like
100% not factual, but yeah. Go ahead.
like 90% though.
I was saying you wasn't that wrong.
But I'm like, I feel like the roles are different. You know what I mean? Like it was a point in time where people joining the army and actually serving in combat, they were like, when they came in, like when they came back from wherever they did their tour of duty, they were like jeered and
Yeah, actual war hero.
yeah, exactly. They were war heroes, but they were like ridiculed and called pieces of shit for doing their job, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like when people join the army, a lot of times people join the army as an escape. You know what I mean? Not because they actually want to serve this country. And I feel like that's the honest to God truth. I feel like only time people join the army for like to serve their country is like after big events, you know. So like after Pearl Harbor, a lot of people join the army. You know what I mean? Fucking September 11th, a lot of people join the army. You know, like after a big event that happens in the city, people just don't go become the police. You know what I mean? People do that shit for a career. You know, and people look at it as like, I feel like he wants to be this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like that's like the main difference between them.
Is there like a higher call in a little bit?
Yeah. I'll never be a police officer though. Couldn't do
Me neither.
it. I just feel like you always gonna be looked at as the bad guy.
Well, military police.
Military police? I mean, shit, you look at them as like they're the bad guys too. Fuck them.
What's the pros and cons of being in the army?
I feel like I feel like it's different for every person. So like I meet a lot of different people, you know. Like I met some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life, like in the army. But I also met some of the worst fucking people. Like, and plus with me, like I get to be in charge of like something that like actually like contributes to a mission, you know? You know what I mean? If I don't do my job, the unit that I'm in will actually feel it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But a con is like they're in like every single part of your life. Like, you know, you gotta fill out all this shit before I go on like a vacation. They wanna know what you're doing. If you fuck up, then they'll become your worst enemy. You know, it's a great job, but I feel like some things could change. I don't want to feel like I'm just under something, you know what I mean? Under a watchful eye, everything I do.
Right.
But it's like, I feel like that's why these young kids be having problems in the military and stuff, and they get in a lot of troubles because we don't allow them the freedom to do stuff, you know what I mean? So they sneak and do it, just like regular kids, you know?
And you go from like that high school kind of not grown environment, sneaking around doing shit, like they're the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. You're
Yeah.
still the same thing. It doesn't give a lot of them time to grow. And then when they do get in trouble, like, we treat them just like they're in school, like they're little kids. We punish them for it. So, and it's messed up because you have to look at it as like in a way like it's part of the job. You know what I mean? We got to do this to them because it's part of the job. And there's no way that stuff can change.
Why is that?
Because they've been doing this shit for years, you know? So I'm just that, kind of like a pawn, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm an officer, I'm still like that pawn. I'm still doing what this person told me to do that's above me, and that person above him told me to do, and that person above him told me to do. Like, that's why the Army's easy, because they tell you what to do, and and they'll give you as many references or books to look at to tell you how to do it exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no room for innovation, you know?
Got you. Are you saying somebody who was in the Army 30 years ago could come in the Army now and just like run it like...
Or barely shit changed about it. They'll figure it out. I mean, everything is there, like, this is how we want you to do it, and that's the way you're going to do it. Like, I could probably tell a soldier to do a task, and be like, this way would be much smarter, but this is how the book says do it. So do it like the book says do it.
What made you want to go to the Army?
I feel like there was a lot of opportunity. And I feel like I needed to get away.
That's good. So what's some of like your new ambitions or like that you want to, some things you want to do in life or some goals?
I'll say like start a business. Because I feel like starting a business is kind of like a damn near like a need for me now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I'm under like an oppressive regime of like always doing what somebody tells me to do, even if I feel like that shit is stupid, you know? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I got a need, like, I don't know if it's in my soul or like in my mind, that I'm gonna run something and make that shit as efficient as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like messed up that it took the Army to teach me that, you know? But like I'm learning that shit every day, and that shit's super frustrating.
It take different stuff, bro, to like trigger different parts of your brain and like for you to even get to that thought.
True. Very true.
Like if you would have never went to the Army, you probably would have never got to that point, like you said.
I feel like that's a lot of people's story, like seeing some kind of like, I wouldn't say problem, but some kind of like method in the workplace and seeing like it's a better way to solve this and like going off and doing that after they out of that place, you know what I'm saying? Or like making that their career, like fixing that problem.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like our attitudes though, you know what I mean? Like, or pride.
Right.
Like I'm the boss, I say do it this way. And like I've heard stories about that shit. Like people will tell you straight up like one NCO told me, non-commissioned officer told me, he said he had a guy that was like a private that joined the Army late at like 32 years old. And he told him to do a task. And the 32-year-old said like, why don't we do it like this way? It's smarter and it's more efficient, it'll be faster. And like the Army told the NCO to say like, I mean shit man, no, do it the way I told you to do it. And the NCO was like, and thinking about it, yeah, that way would be smarter and easier to do, but that's not how the Army works, you know what I mean? You gotta maintain that control over them. Or motherfuckers just gonna be running wild.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the most fucked up thing ever.
It is.
That like, you let, I mean, cause shit, I do it too sometimes, you know what I mean? But it's like, this shit been going on since the 1700s, you know what I mean?
Right.
You do what your boss tell you to do. Cause that's how this shit works.
Right, it's too many people and too many different components for everybody to have an opinion.
Exactly.
The system got to run a certain way for it to be...
Yeah.
For it to be efficient, you know what I mean?
Efficient.
But even if someone has a more efficient way of doing things, that shit's not tested.
Right.
It can't be implemented right away.
It kind of made me a pessimist though.
Shit, I feel like that's in life in general, man.
I mean, I feel like it just accelerated it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like with wanting to own a business, I know like you into like real estate and wanting to like own property and just have your hands in different stuff. What's like the importance of wanting to own property for you?
I feel like, it depends on what you're asking. So I feel like for someone to own property, you have to see the benefits of owning it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times where we grow up and the people that we know have never owned anything in their life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they don't know what comes with the shit.
Right.
You know, like some people been renters for like their whole fucking lives. And they don't realize that they funded somebody else's kids to go to college. You know what I mean? They add to somebody else's network.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, man. And that's another thing I learned in the Army, though. I realized that like this world is much bigger and like much smarter. Like a lot of people grew up with different backgrounds. Like at first, like I thought like renting a house was like, okay, shit, I'm doing good. And another person saying like, oh, I'm buying it. And I'm like, damn, why would he buy a house? if we in the military, we gonna move in 3 years. That's a damn near guaranteed. And it was like, I'll just rent it out when I leave, and I get another house where I'm at. And when I leave that place, I'll just rent that one out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got little old dumbass me just rent wherever I go, you know?
Yeah.
So you just, but you know, a lot of those people came from houses that were like, or homes that were like their parents own their homes and shit.
Exactly.
You
Own
know,
properties and stuff.
They know how to do it.
So it's like they saw the importance of the shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of saw it, but my parents lived in the same house for my whole life, you know? They didn't have any aspirations of moving. So I didn't get taught that aspect of it.
Right.
Mine too. Shit, to close out the Army conversation, like, what's your next endeavor if you care to share?
To get out.
I mean, you're soon.
I mean, man, I don't know. I just got a lot of thinking to do because you get comfortable in that shit. You know, they pay you nice. They teach you some shit and they change your position. But probably go back to school. I feel like my bachelor's degree ain't enough, you know?
What you want to do?
Yeah, I was about to say, you said own a business shit.
I mean, but everybody else in my family got a master's degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like the bitch nigga out the bunch with just a bachelor's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta at least get on the same level as them, you know?
That's a good pressure to have. I think I have 4. That is
Do y'all got in the finals?
Hmm?
Do y'all got in the finals?
in the finals. Warriors in 6.
I got
KD
Warriors
player
in
now.
5, nigga.
You said we threw it out.
Yeah, we'll throw it out, KD. Warriors in 6. Maybe in 5 if we do.
If KD come back, dog, they might win in 3, nigga.
I need Kawhi to lock that shit, bro.
He gonna lock one person at a time, bro.
They don't switch. He switching her the ball. Got ball.
Every time he gonna be this long.
There's too many
So-
niggas that the Warriors got, though. Like,
Who you trying
No,
to
they
bring back to?
don't.
who can't score on that bitch? Who can't score that play on the fucking Warriors team?
It's the lead, though. Niggas can score in multiple ways. Like,
But these niggas can do that shit like at
you
will.
could say like what Jordan Bell, Kevon Looney, like the niggas can run and transition and get a bucket.
roll and get a bucket,
You know what I'm saying?
You got my shit.
Hell no.
Hey, that's that shot. Niggas stealing, bro.
Bucket for that.
I didn't even bring that bitch in the bathroom. We talk about niggas stealing.
It's just a Christmas still.
But man, thanks for coming on today. Do you got anything else like to say to the people? Where can they find you at?
Oh man, y'all can find me on Instagram at first_name_Cory, CORY. You can find me on Twitter at CJONES2182. You can find me in Killeen, Texas.
Pull up.
Pull up.
Her little Duval.
Oh, this ain't it.
Suicide hotline. You happen to have it?
The suicide hotline is 1-800-273-8255. Is that correct? I don't have it on me today. And I just
pinned in your fucking Twitter, nigga.
It used to be. I just unpinned it to pin something else.
Yeah,
Damn.
you only got one pen at a time.
Oh,
What was the
damn,
last
bro.
4 you said?
Oh no, it's
8255?
8255.
That's
I
what
said
you
it
said.
right. And it is pinned still. 1-800-273-8255. Suicide hotline available 24/7, 365. I think they open on Christmas.
They are
I don't
open
know.
on Christmas.
Oh, they are open.
Yes,
on
they're
Christmas.
certainly open on Christmas.
And remember, you can always hit us up at T2M_pod everywhere.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Except the ones that legalized by your state representatives and local.
No, don't do those either.
Yeah, those are gateway drugs.
Don't do drugs if they aren't
Don't
free.
do prescription drugs if you sick. Don't do over the counters if you got a fever. Don't take motion if you got a headache.
What should they do, Chris?
Drink water.
Yeah, drink water, nigga.
Eat more vegetables.
Get a ginger ale, nigga.
These man they ain't got burners related.
Yeah, the top five.
Yeah, top 5. And the whole city raving.
Shout out my nigga Henny.
Oh, I want to say that Pokemon movie was dick.
I thought it was gonna be like I didn't see.
I thought it was gonna be kind of
detective shit.
Bro, the detective shit is what threw it all the way out, bro. If it would have been a regular little adventure journey movie, it would have been straight. Like, adding that detective shit ruined the whole concept of the movie. But I will say the animation and, like, how they made the Pokemons look was dope as fuck. They just ruined it with the story that they had.
Y'all see
John Wick
Sonic shit?
Yeah, that Sonic.
Yeah, they said we can't roll with the one we got.
That shit was going.
I think they changed it though.
That new John Wick movie was hard as hell, though.
Oh, that shit was nuts. I still ain't seen Endgame.
I heard it wasn't.
I want to ask everybody see Avengers.
Huh?
I heard it
Yeah,
wasn't
see
the
that.
first two.
I'm gonna go see it by myself.
It's better this week, man.
I like 1 and 3. The second one, they're good too.
You got
Jack better right? She was asking questions.
No, I didn't see that Avengers shit though.
Damn.
That shit 3 hours. I gotta be prepared to see that shit.
You gotta get coffee where you
So
go.
none of y'all niggas watch Game of Thrones. That's gay. Cause
Yeah,
I'm glad that shit ended because you like it.
Yeah, that shit over now, so now I can go and watch it.
yeah. That shit say blessed on the side.
Yeah.
I ain't saw that. You got that custom made.
P gave me this.
Shout out P.
Shout out
Shout out P. He came on last
Oh,
episode.
I'm gonna draw some concepts for that thing. Be on the lookout.
Draw some what for him?
Some concepts. Shirt concepts and shit.
Oh, nigga, you could draw?
Yeah. I'm just not good with that. So
You don't want the pencil?
look for ways to put that shit to use. You know what I'm saying?
So like, nigga, you ain't draw like you know how everybody drew cars in like the 3rd grade and shit. Your shit was just like you was drawing like real ass Range Rovers.
Well, no, I took an art class in the 7th grade. Like it was like on some in-depth, like, you know what I'm saying, how to draw lines, like vector lines and all that shit. And then like shit from there, honestly, just using that shit and just figuring out different ways to use it.
Nigga, you went to a good school, nigga. I took art and I got a C in it, bitch.
I got
In
to see
8th grade.
Me too, nigga. Cause
This was new.
I wasn't adding white to my paint, so my colors was too solid. I'm like, nigga, what?
Yeah, top 5 for this week before we be company. Well, of course it's not ranked, but we had Imported by Jesse Reyes and Black, 6 Lack. We had Big Boy Talk off the new Khaled album. That's Khaled, Ross, and Jeezy. Good to hear. Ross and Jeezy regularly back on records together.
Is that back to back?
Huh?
Is that back to back?
No. But this next one is back to back. Now that you mentioned it, last week's B.O.B. Chicago Boy by Ari Lennox is back on again, just making the list. Then we had from the new Carly Rae Jepsen album. Might have never heard from him. Call Me Maybe. This one is called Want You in My Room. She wants to do bad things. And B.O.B. for this week, rest in peace. We had Khaled with Nipsey and John Legend, Higher. It's CS, it's CoJo, it's Chris, it's Tez, and it's Sav. We wake the fuck up, and it's T2M. Thanks.
We out this bitch.
Soul in the fire. niggas always gotta learn the hard way. We gon' tape it off if we ball play. Put a half moon crescent on your ball fade. Police hit the lights, that's a car chase. Looking back at my life, make my heart race. Dance with the devil and test on faith. I was thinking chess moves, but it was God grace. Crooked ass whoever till we all straight. With no shame, I peep game and it's all fake. South Central state of mind, high crime rate. Homicide, hate gang banging to get you all day. Look at my face. It keeps taking me higher and higher. Told Cali bounce the flow to the bar break. But don't you know that the devil is a liar? I know they'd rather see me down, put my soul in the fire. But we keep going higher, higher, higher. Oh Lord, can you feel it? My shoes is scraping the sky. I'm so high. We keep going higher.